Let's do a few questions pertaining to the application and translation of subtraction. So again, we're looking for keywords here. Keywords of difference would mean subtraction, or decreased by means subtraction, or less than means subtraction. The first two are fairly straightforward. If I'm finding the difference of negative 37 and 20, I'm going to write that as negative 37 minus 20. To simplify, I'm of course going to keep, flip, change, and then I'm going to combine two values that have the same sign, so I will find the sum and give it the common sign. The second one is also very straightforward, so it's 14 decreased by negative 3, so when I'm decreasing by a negative, notice I've put that in parentheses. And now I'm going to leave, change, opposite, or keep, flip, change. So now I have 14 plus positive 3, so two positive values that I'm going to combine to get 17 and give it the common sign, of positive, so it's positive 17. The only tricky one here is this last one, because that less than is one of the ones we really have to look out for, because here it's telling me that I want 5 less than a number of negative 55, which means in this case negative 55 came first, and now I'm decreasing it by 5. So negative 55 minus 5, this would be 5 less than. 5 less than means take away 5 from whatever you had at the beginning. Once I have it set up, of course, I'm going to keep, flip, change, and now I've got a negative plus another negative. Same sign, I find the sum, which is 60, and give it the common sign. Try these three on your own, then press play to see how you did. For my first, I have 19 less than negative 13, so again, less than is a tricky one. So I'm going to start with negative 13, and I'm going to subtract 19. Now I'm going to keep, flip, change. I now have two negatives. I will combine those together to get negative 32. Common sign is negative. My second question, subtract 21 from negative 12. Again, I'm subtracting it from negative 12, which means negative 12 comes first. I'm going to subtract 21. And now I'm going to keep, flip, change. I now have two negative values that I'm adding together. So I will add to get 33, and the common sign is negative, so my answer is negative. And the last one on this page, the difference of negative 11 and 2, this one's fairly straightforward. I'm just going to write it as is in the order that they gave me. And now I'm going to keep, flip, change. I've got two negatives. I'm going to combine to a larger negative value. Negative 13 is my solution. Here's one a little bit more difficult because we're dealing with a story problem. So if we have an airplane cruising at 30,000 feet above sea level, so keyword there is above, meaning that 30,000 is going to be positive, and then directly below the airplane is the submarine at 1,000 feet below sea level, or below the surface, and we're finding the difference in elevation. So if we're finding the difference, then of course that means we're subtracting. We already said that the 30,000 is positive, and I'm going to subtract the negative 1,000. So this 1,000 below sea level is negative 1,000. And if I KFC, that means I'm now adding those values together. And so 31,000 feet would be the difference between the two. So it might be helpful to think of this as here's the surface, way, way, way up in the sky. This is 30,000 feet for the plane. And then below sea level is 1,000 feet. So if I were traveling this entire distance, that would be 31,000 feet. Try a similar question on your own, then press play to see how you did. The hiker is at a base camp at 4,130 meters above sea level. And a diver is 30 meters below sea level, and we're finding the difference. So again, difference tells me to subtract. Below sea level tells me it's negative. Now I'm going to keep, flip, change, which means I'm basically adding those together. 4,130 plus 30 is 4,160 meters. For a story problem, I would typically write a sentence. The difference in elevation between the hiker and the diver is 4,160 meters.